Alright folks, how are we? I am Shipwreck Sean, and this is episode 39 of my Sailwind series. I've woken up in the Fort Aestrin tavern after a night of drinking with this guy. He's got a cheek to ask for more, but I suppose he's probably after a wee hair of the dog, so there we are, son. There are talks of a boat coming from Mirage Mountain carrying some water. Is that supposed to be me? Or they're probably just saying that water fetches a good price here. But I did technically leave from Mirage Mountain, which actually works as a good segue. Let's head over to the interactive map so we can go over what we've achieved in the last two episodes. Where are you? There we go. So, at the start of North, we vacated Gold Rock City with our upgraded Sandbuck Perigo, with her proper gaff sails and some big old squares. We fired up north, struggling with the squares a bit until we got to Oasis, where we picked up, I can't remember now, it was spices, a bunch of missions, and there was definitely something else we got from Oasis, but I can't mind, but we'll check that. Then we sailed sort of northeast, maybe just south of northeast, along to Mirage Mountain so we could pick up, we almost actually ran aground, so that we could pick up the little map that we weren't able to get before the game hotfixed it. You couldn't actually get the map on older saves. So we picked that up, and even though we knew where we were going, we used that and still panicked a bit on our sail up to Saffron. It's quite a sketchy sail this actually, because Saffron's easy to miss, but we did find Saffron. We hopped into Saffron and I feel like I've said this word so many times already. We picked up some saffron, of course, as the name would state. And then we saw a storm coming over from the west. Would that make it an easterly storm if it's going east, or would it be westerly if it's coming from the west? There's an opportunity to leave a comment for Shipwreck Sean down below. Excuse me. And then we began our ocean voyage by running away from a storm and then getting caught in the middle of it. And that was the end of the North episode. At the start of the last episode, I believe we must... Excuse me. I believe we must have been around here. We dropped our quadrant somewhere in this area, which made it quite a nerve-wracking sail. It ended up being quite an easy sail. We got there, I think just shy of 5 days. I'll need to double check that, because a lot of people say they got 6 days with no lower than 12 knots. I don't think we reached above 12 knots more than maybe once or twice. But yeah, I thought it was going to be very nerve-wracking, because obviously losing the quadrant kind of makes it difficult to tell your latitude. However, we had the sun compass, which we were able to do so with. We just weren't able to check longitude by comparing that with the 3 stars that are in our navigation journal. So we got to the Aestrin archipelago eventually. I really should have added days along this journey. And oh, what a sight it was to behold all these new islands that I've not been to. I have started a save before in this archipelago just to play around with the cog. This was probably over a year ago. I can't remember which island you start from. It might be Eastwind, because I seem to recall there being a bit of land in front that you need to squeeze out of. And then I've sailed to, it might be this one, I've sailed to an island where it's like a cave. So that's the extent of my knowledge of the Aestrin archipelago. So we've got plenty to play around with. Today we are going to do some exploring on Fort Aestrin. And I'd probably like to go to Firefly Grotto first. That's sort of jumping out to me. So yeah, that's the plan for today. We'll certainly do some sailing today, but I do want to explore the town properly and see what it has to offer. And I need to check my currencies and such as well. So intro over, let's play some Sailwind. Alrighty, so just to remind myself, we're going to head over to the log. And it's going to be in trade receipts. So it was, what did we buy? So it was just spices in Oasis. I don't know if we picked up anything to sell from Gold Rock. We sold sculptures to Oasis. That might be what I'm thinking. So it was just the spices and saffron that we traded. I do want to double check the funds, because a little correction from the last episode was that I in fact got paid in Aestrin crowns, I believe, for the missions, and I accidentally selected to get paid in Alank Lions for the trade. But we do want 110 gold to play around with this. I don't know if we'll stick with this vessel as our main vessel. Perhaps we will leave the sandbuck here and use this vessel to go down to the Emerald Archipelago. Now that I've started walking around though, I am quite keen to have a wee look. We've got a hammock up forward. We've got some storage down here. I'm already getting inspiration for how to lay everything out. I do like this sort of quarter deck. Or would it be a poop deck? I can never get them. I always get them mixed up. Quarters and poops. So we would like to have a look at that, and to do so we need to find out how much gold we'll get out of 4,651 lions and 6,031 crowns. Is that just standard gold? So I don't think we have... Yeah, that's gold lions. We don't have any of them. So we need to get our head wrapped around the currencies. But we will play around with this vessel at some point. It looks like she's square rigged with a jib. And I'm not too sure what that is on the stern. Is that a... I don't know if that'll open up down this way. It looks like it might be a gaff. Because from what I can see, there's a spar up here and a spar at the bottom. But we'll find that out at a later point. I'm quite keen to see what this is. It's more paintings, it would seem. Are they selling the painting that's in the tavern? Because I really like the look of that. Not purchasing today, sir. Just browsing. Oh, that's expensive. So I guess this is what you do when you're rich and you've got nothing else to spend your money on. I would like a map. That's quite nice. I would like a map of this archipelago, so we'll pick that up today. I would like to try the new lanterns as well. So plenty to do. I'd like to walk up to Fort Aestrin as well, see if there's anything exciting up here. And I will grab the spyglass before I do that. So we've got tea something I've not really played around with in this game, or coffee. Sausages, raw sausage. This is the meat guy. We've got a guy with a fancy hat selling tobacco and wine. What a fun chap. Oh look, he's buzzing about it. And we've got some rum as well. We've got the cheese man. And here we have some lanterns. And, oh, I don't think I've ever seen that, like, little design on the spyglasses before. Is that literally, like, looking at these barrels here? Yeah, it is. That's cool. I like that. I am tempted to take just a fancy compass from here, just to say I've got one from Aestrin. I could just place it somewhere. And that way there's a compass to look at. I've spoken myself into it. We're doing it. Oh, and I really like the look of this chip log as well. And how much are the lanterns? We'll take one lantern. The chronometer's really cool. We could probably... Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is we need to make all of our money first before I start splurging it all. We've still got lanterns to go through. I might take one, and it looks like these are oil filled. Lamp oil. But I don't know if all of the lanterns can just be refilled with both oil and candles. But either way, it's a lot cheaper to just replace them with... Well, not cheaper actually. I think it's just more efficient to replace them with new lanterns as you go. We'll take one to see what it's like on the vessel. And now our inventory is full. I was very interested by this weather vane, and it does appear to be really cheap as well. I'm just not too sure where I would place it. Maybe up forward somewhere. But I think we're splurging too much there. We've got wind compass. So the weather vane must be part of the mod. Is that... I nearly missed these. Let's go to the Alank Archipelago. We've got Dragon Cliffs. I didn't actually buy one of those maps. But we'll get one at the Emerald Archipelago. And then we've got Aestrin, which I very much would like. Oh, and we're going to have to carry this. And then here is water, veg, just general groceries. So before I check out this part of the market, let's go over and dump some of our new goodies and grab the spyglass for when we head up to Fort Aestrin. Not forgetting to check the currencies exchanges. Right, where do I want this map to be? I can't actually remember where my Alank map is. It might be down below as a decoration. There's Mirage Mountain. There we go. But this map, I think it would be nicer to have this map, well, probably a lot more useful actually, to have this map up here somewhere so it's easy to look at. I might even pop it on the map table, and we can put our ocean going map somewhere else for now. There we go, whilst we're in Aestrin. And let's get our ocean map put somewhere as a nice decoration. We'll just pop it there for now. I'll probably forget about that forever. We want the spyglass, which we can't put in our inventory just yet because it's full. So this crate has nothing. And this crate, I believe it's more navigation tools, isn't it? So we'll shove our new compass in there. In fact, I do want to take a compass with me for if I see some islands that I'm interested in. Well, I suppose I've got some water in here as well, but I think I'll take the water with me. So in here, this can just be random lanterns and such for now. And we'll drop some more bread onto the ungodly pile, which is completely unnecessary at this point, but it's, you know, I'm a man of tradition. Now we can take the spyglass. And I think we're good for a bit of exploring. We'll keep the wine bottle. Right, cool. We'll come back to this vessel eventually. It looks like we've got a little behind market there. I believe this is the shipyard, so you must just moor along here. And where's the chappie? Is this the shipyard? No boat and shipyard area, so that's the chap for the shipyard. Just taking a wee wander up here to see if there's anything exciting. Nope, there's that building. I was very curious as to why it had a sort of square rig mast. I don't know if it's just like a focal point for sailors to assist them in their journeys and exploration. Sort of like a lighthouse with no light. Right, currencies. I want to see, because I'll definitely buy the dinghy. And we definitely want the, I believe it's the brig at some point, so 5,000, let's do 4,000 of each to get a general idea of the currency exchange. So, well, I could actually just do Alank Lions to Aestrin Crowns. So for every 10 lions, you're getting 14 crowns. So the currencies are actually quite similar. I don't know how to reset that, so we'll just close and open back up. But for lions, so I believe 3,000-ish got me 75 lions, around that ballpark. I'm sure that helped me afford the sandbuck in the first place. See, I wasn't far off. So let's see, we might actually be able to just completely, since we're not going to be back at Alank for a while, we might be able to afford, yeah, we can actually completely afford to buy the brig with the Alank Lions. I might regret this, but I think I'm just going to exchange that now so that we've got it. And then I've just got the crowns to play around with in this archipelago. I'm going to commit. We're doing it. Emerald Dragons. Can we get any gold out of the Emerald Dragons we have? It doesn't look like it. We don't quite have enough. So we'll just keep that as change. And I do need to take 20 more Aestrin Crown. 20 more Gold Lions. Gold Lions, yeah. So that would bring me to 1330 to get the dinghy. But I think I'll just leave it at that for now, because I'm going to be doing the dinghy in a different episode anyway. And I think I'd rather use the money we've got to invest in some goods to maybe sell at Firefly, Grotto, etc. But let's have a wee look. So we've got two sails. I wonder if they're square or if they're gaffs or lugs or latines. We don't know. I mean, I could just make a save and buy it now, but nope, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry folks if that was a tease. Right, we've got a fish guy. We're not going to need to eat and drink anytime soon. Over here we've got a sort of anemones guy. Buckets, pots, mugs. What did you call me? Salt, which I think I've decided I'm not really going to play around with salt that much. Smoker, tables and such I would like to decorate a little bit better. I really like the look of this bed actually. That's quite a fancy bed. I'm going to turn down the volume because the sound of chitter chatter in town is destroying my ears for the headphones. And in fact, it very much still is. Down we go. We've got the bread guy. I might eat a wee bun since it's only £1. I'm actually falling in love with this archipelago very quickly, and I've only been to like one island on this save. 3 islands overall. Trout. Trout is something I've not seen in the game before. I think I caught one whilst I was out actually. And I can take a salmon slice for one. That might have been a lot tastier than bread. But let's continue with our exploration. It looks like we've got a choice here. Or is this just all the sort of back gardens to Aestrin? Yeah, that takes us back down to the market. So let's start climbing the mountain and see what we can see. I would like to work out which set of islands is the Firefly Grotto. So where are we looking now? So we're looking sort of north of northeast. So if I hop over to the... Oh, I should have taken the map actually to make it a bit more cool. If I hop over to the interactive map, that's OBS. There we go. Yeah, so we must be looking at Firefly Grotto there. Because from where we're standing on Fort Aestrin, I presume around here, drawing a straight line in the direction we're looking, Firefly Grotto. So that huge bunch of islands there is Firefly Grotto. So that's where I'd like to sail to next. So once we're done exploring... What the hell are these guys? Is this Fort Aestrin then? I mean, I know there's like buildings up top, but is this like the gates to Fort Aestrin? Can I enter Fort Aestrin? Excuse me? Nope, these lads are not letting me through. Well, great secure... Oh no, I can't. The invisible wall is more secure than the guards. Oh, that's a shame. So is it all just visual then? I really wanted to do some exploring. And this is the mast thing we were looking at. I wonder if there's anything significant about this wee house. Again, this just gives so much potential for player homes in this game. I would absolutely love player homes. Raw Lion, if you're listening, if I'm lucky enough to have any devs watch any of my videos at any point, player homes please. I know your boats are kind of moving homes, but come on now. But anyway, these guys are cool. So it wouldn't appear we can get to Fort Aestrin, so I think we're going to be sailing a lot quicker than I had intended. I'm trying to break the invisible wall, but it's no going to let me. Oh, that's disappointing. Oh well. Fort Aestrin is a heavily guarded fortress, and they don't let the likes of me in. I mean, I must be pretty loaded if I'm turning up in a ship like that. You know, I thought capitalism's supposed to get you places if you've got some cash. But no, Fort Aestrin is very much stuck to their feudal ways. You can only get in if you know the king. I wonder what the government of Fort Aestrin is like. So, oh well, I guess that's all the exploring we can do for Fort Aestrin for now. So suppose we'll go and find some missions to Firefly Grotto. And we'll also have a look at contracts. Well, sorry, we'll have a look at goods that I can invest in and trade over at Firefly Grotto and see if there's anything else of interest. So see you over at the ledger. Alright, so here we go. Let's see what missions we can take over to Firefly Grotto. Logs are heavy, but then we have a big heavy boat due tomorrow. Well, we'll be leaving shortly for 111. Is that going to be... Yeah, I'm just going to take that and actually see where I can fit them on board. I like the idea of carrying something big and heavy. You can see the boat completely healing. Or listing? I'm not too sure. Yeah, is it healing when you're underway and listing when you're not? It's alright, 39 episodes in. Still need to learn some nautical terms. So if we drop the logs in the centre, I believe we'll be alright. We need to keep a mental note of what kind of space we've got down below. Let's see what else. I don't think we'll make an awful lot of money going over to Firefly Grotto. We can take some grain. Yeah, we'll just take everything we can. Everything that says Firefly Grotto we're taking. Assuming we've got enough reputation to take more than 3. I need to check that actually, but we'll take some mail. And is that everything we can take to Firefly Grotto? It would look like it. I haven't decided where I'm going to go next is the thing, or I would take some more if I can, because it looks like we can take some more missions. But I think I'd rather do it mission by mission. I mean, Fay Valley's right behind, but that's 2 days. It's not giving us much time. What about the sort of... Have we got a mission that's further along in the ledger to give us more time to go to Fay Valley? Nah, I mean, Siren Song's pretty close as well. Is it worth... There's apples to Siren Song in 3 days. But I would like to spend some time at Firefly Grotto. I think we're rich, right? We don't need to commit too much. Aestrin, right? We want to see what is going to make a profit over at the grotto. So there's the grotto, second from the bottom. Oh, where's Happy Bay again? Because if I remember right, Happy Bay is... Oh, that's quite far, isn't it? Can I see like a world map? There we go. Right, so we're not going to be going to Happy Bay anytime soon, but that could be something quite fun to do in the future. But we'll stick to local. So we'll ignore Happy Bay for now. We just need to find some profitable goods. Water might be a shout to Firefly Grotto, but let's see what's the most profitable. Oranges is 10%-ish, or just shy of. Grain is alright, it's not as profitable. I believe water was... Let's see, what was water? 58.26, so water is 50%. And grain is maybe just over 25%, but it is more. And we're quite rich, so we're probably as well taking that to fill the boat up with more. Rice is okay. Forest mushrooms is okay. Is there anything that really stands out? Is what I want to know. I suppose we're probably too close. Green tobacco will be light. For 174, it's not a great profit margin, but as I say, black tobacco looks like the better option if we go the tobacco route. Blue tobacco, nah. So we might take some black tobacco. Just it spends a lot of money, but it means we have to think less. We'll take less things, less weight. We've already got logs on board. Goods are usually a good one, if you can excuse the unintended pun. Nails, copper. So there's not a great deal of profit to be made going to Firefly Grotto from here. So we'll certainly take some black tobacco. I think we'll just spend all the money we can on black tobacco without ruining the exchange. I mean, it looks like if we decided where we were going next, it might be smart to do it that way. But I'm just here to make a quick buck. So I'll just take a couple. That has actually completely altered the profit margin for that. But we'll take a couple anyway. And what else was it? Was it grain? We'll go ahead and maybe take 3 lots of grain. Get the receipt. We've still got 3,000 odd I'd like to spend, but this is just one single sale over the grotto. Once I understand the archipelago a bit better, I'll put more thought into it and we'll really be making profit. But what I'll do is I'm going to jump along to the cheaty cargo guy. I'll get everything on board, and then I'll be back with you to set sail. Alright folks, so we're loaded up and ready to go. Let's have a look at the wind. The wind will be behind us. It looks like it's pointing directly to the Firefly Grotto, which is pretty handy. Maybe not quite, but I mean pretty decent. We're definitely going to have the wind behind us. Just double check we haven't left anything. We will be sailing at night, but we took missions that are going to be due tomorrow. So there's no waiting around. We just need to go ahead and get moving. Oh, falling in the drink, but I'll just give her a wee push. A wee bit of encouragement. Like that. We're going to run back aft, or swim back aft rather, just to make sure she doesn't hit off the dock. Must remember there is damage in the game now, but we didn't see much in the ocean crossing. We're going to just turn our lanterns on in preparation for things getting dark. And also because I like them, particularly at this time of night. Everything just looks nice. Hopefully we've got enough of a turning point to not hit the dock or the brig. Just lock that off there. So we are tacking. So she might struggle a wee bit. Is there a lantern over here? Yep, beautiful. This is how I've gone for our stowage. And then we've got our little carrying a bit lantern here. I think I'll get a jib out, see if that encourages a bit more movement, because I can manipulate that jib. What way's the wind going? It is crossing from port to starboard. I don't really think there's much we can do with that. In fact, would it be this way? Let's get her turned around. It's slow dock moving at the moment. That might not do much actually. I forgot how to sail. That's pretty much how my episodes tend to begin these days. But we might actually be going astern now. So, even though it loses cool points, I think what we'll do is we'll just give her a wee push of encouragement. It's only episode 39. Right, there we go. That's a bit of forward momentum. The wind is catching her jib for close hauling. So we'll just straighten her up to pick up some speed. We are going to have the wind behind us, so I'm not really too interested in getting the gaffs out, because we're going to be sailing with the squares. Loosen up that, because I know I tightened it. And we are moving forward. Oh, we're shattered. I maybe should have considered that, because it's going to be such a short sail over there. That's interesting. Right, when is our missions due? Because it looks like it's going to be such a short sail tomorrow. So that's all day tomorrow, right? And the other ones are in 2 days. So we could just anchor off once we get out of the bay, sleep until morning, and then that way we'll have some daytime sailing. So I think what we'll do is I'll get round this here rock. Is that on the map? It is. You can just see it where I'm circling my ever so faint cursor. So we'll get past this rock, and then as I say, that looks like the tiniest of sails. So we'll just anchor off and sleep. Let's get a few swigs of water whilst we're at it. Was there only 2 left in that bottle? Okay, sorry to the Fort Aestrin Port Authority, but if you're not letting me in the fort, I'm littering in your port. And we have... Oh no, I'm getting my rocks mixed up. I saw that and thought it was that one. Right, how's the wind? We have a bit more of a beam reach here. I mean, I know there's a second energy meter. You know, once this one depletes, there is a second one, but that goes down quite quickly, and I think that's playing with fire a bit too closely. We'll keep this in our inventory, actually. My fancy new compass can stay in our inventory. And we'll just dot along forward until we get past this. What am I doing? Why am I talking out loud? I would like to eat. And I'm slowly making my way through the sunspot fish, actually. So we'll continue to finish this crate up front. Or the more forward crate. Barrel of water. That means we've got our big bottle full somewhere. Nice. And job's a good one. We're fed and watered. We've got a little bottle of water here. We've got our wind compass on the ground, lined up with a plank, as close as humanly possible. Yeah, that'll do. But it might be worth having the wind compass just somewhere better, more easy to see, and then we can put this old Al Ankh compass. Boring. We're in Aestrin now. Although we mustn't forget our roots, folks. Oh. Oh, the night lights have just popped on. Ain't that pretty? Full night sky. I reckon we could probably get there, but nah, what's the point? We're rich. We're not frugal anymore. Just go and check and see if I've not got any lanterns on down below, which I don't. Okay, nice. Start getting these off. And pulling the jib back in. Jib is in. Let's unleash the anchor. I'm keeping my ears peeled to hear dragging. Didn't hear any dragging. Oh, maybe there was a little bit there, I'm not sure. It might not even be this game that you hear the anchor dragging. Get our lights off. I would like to keep these ones from the Emerald Archipelago, and I think I'll keep this one as well, just because I like the look of it. But we will be playing around with our new lanterns, and I think I'll actually do that before bedtime. Let's get a look. So these are apparently better in every conceivable way, so that would tell me they're probably brighter, last longer, all the rest of it. So yeah, we've got a nice cool little, this feels cool to carry around actually, but we will preserve this for now. Maybe just keep it in our inventory. Now we have a table lantern and a carrying about lantern. Look at us, eh? Living the high life. Anyway, let's get that off. Get off our table lantern. And turn off our nightlight. And I'll see you in the morning, folks. Good night. Good morning. We have fully slept. It is raining, of course. This is where we're headed, right? Okay, so we'll pull the anchor up and we'll think about getting some sails in. We've got a rainbow over there. Very nice. Get this hauled up. The anchor always takes longer than I care to admit. And then we'll get a jib out. I believe the wind is still much the same. So we'll get a jib out. We'll get ourselves turned in the right direction. And I might check the map as well, because I know there's a whole bunch of rocks to navigate. Let's go for this one. Just a inner jib for now. And I believe we'll be able to let that right out. I mean, it's just luffing a wee touch let out like that. So I'm happy with that. We'll get turned around and get some squares out. So all these rock structures here, I think is the entrance to Firefly Grotto. But we'll find it when we get there. Never been there myself. Whenever I watch YouTubers go to places like this, I unfortunately skip when they're actually in port, because I like to experience going to new places on camera with everyone watching, just to make things a bit more authentic. But we're getting to the point where we're going to run out of new places to see. What time is it? It's coming up for 7 in the morning, so we have woken up bright and early. The rain will be good because that will start to fill my barrel of water again. Oh, double rainbow. Can we get a... There we go. Pretty. Well, that's gonna have to be a potential thumbnail. But we'll see, because this episode is going to be called Firefly Grotto, and it would be good to have a photo of Firefly Grotto. But we have the wind behind us. Let's just get the squares out. I think we're going to be there in no time, folks. So, our big old square. And our top square. And we'll just completely let the sheets out. And let the square do the talking. And then our aft square. This one? Nope. There we go. Aft square we will let out. And do the very same. With our sheets. We can reach over the saffron plant. And as you can see, we're picking up speed pretty well. Absolutely flying. This might be a very short sail. I'm going to leave her to do her thing. Oh my goodness, she's flying. But let's go and check the interactive map. In fact, you know what? We're not going to use the interactive map. We're just going to use our vision. We're going to be big boys and girls today. I forget how to... There we go. Might as well go all squares, eh? Nice one. I bought a small square for the bowsprit, and gosh darn it, I'm going to use it. We might be a bit bow heavy with the logs. It feels like we're dipping at the bow just a wee touch. Well, that's alright. Right, we're passing a rock already. So let's go and check. We can look at this map. That's not cheating. Kind of hard to look at. There we go. You can't actually see it. There we go. So I think we might be passing this rock already. Or is it just the rock? I think we might be almost there. Okay, so there's a beach. Oh, is the grotto place the one that's inside? Which would mean I have been to Firefly Grotto before. Interesting. I actually have no idea where I am. But I think we need to turn around. And somehow navigate through these rocks to find the entrance. It might be time to bring in the squares pretty soon already, because we have flown across, and I would like to be able to see in front of me. Right, let's see if we can spot any beaches. Vision isn't great today. But yeah, I think, you know how I said I'd been to the place with the place that's inside a cave before? I think that might actually be Firefly Grotto. Right, let's grab you. Haul you in, especially for bow heavy. And I think I might take the top in, just to reduce speed a wee touch. I do need to do this quickly, because I need to turn to port before I smash into a rock. Come on. Right. Run. Turn to port. We might... do you ever feel like you're going too fast sometimes? Is that even a thing? That looks like it might be a cave entrance there. So I believe that's where we need to go. Oh! It's a shipwreck. We are shipwrecked, Sean. Therefore, sails are going in. We're going to go and explore that. That's not pulling the sails in. That's pulling the gaff up. Quick! I wonder what it is. I don't remember seeing that before. And then square in. And we are slowing down. I'll get the anchor out and we'll just swim over. I think the boat will be pretty safe here. We must remember we have a mission due, but it's due today and it's 7 in the morning last I checked. Right, that is almost certainly an anchor dragging sound. Right, okay, so we have water with us. Let's just fill that up. Just to be safe, we've got a lantern, which we probably don't need. Just pop you here for now. And we certainly don't... In fact, we'll take the compass. Always makes you feel like a bit more of an explorer. I do need to eat and drink before I scoot across. Let's take another one. We're almost finished this crate. Very nice. I'll go for another couple of bread slices as well. I probably should have taken the dried bread slice. Although, as I say, the pile of bread is just a gimmick at this stage. And I suppose we'll just drink as much of this bottle as we can. And then we'll fill it up from the barrel on the other side. Not that the barrels of water are making much of a difference to my balance. This is where I wish the davits mod worked, because then I could drop the dinghy and sail over. But we're just going to get wet. Okay, shipwreck, Sean, shipwreck. Let's go and find out what is the deal. 3 masts. What are the sails? Is that forward mast raked a little touch, or is it just damage? I wonder if there's anything like to be discovered. So is this another brig? Yeah, I think this is a brig. Wonder, is it pointing to anything? Is it like a hint? You know how sometimes games do that? It doesn't look like it. Anything around here? I haven't received any hints or anything. I'm literally just guessing here that there might be something. In Following Seas, I found like a lore journal and some barrels of goodies in a shipwreck, so I was kind of hoping to find the same here. But I think it's just a feature. So, Firefly Grotto, there'd be a little bit of trouble with sailors here. Maybe this is why the guy on Aestrin, the guy selling alcohol, was so happy. He's maybe made an absolute fortune from whoever's the captain of this vessel. But aye, Firefly Grotto. I'm tempted to make this the thumbnail so you all think I've just crashed the new ship. But oh well, that was a nice wee side project. I've left the jib out, it would seem. But that's alright. The anchor's a lot stronger than the jib. And let's head into the cave to Firefly Grotto to complete our missions and see if there's anything exciting there. Up we go. Right, anchor back in. Anchor twice in one episode. I need to rush back and turn to port once this anchor is fully up. Hoist ye. Come on now, we ain't got all day. Well, actually, we quite literally have all day. Right, there we go. Back we go. Turn to port. We're quite slow, but that's okay. That might be a good thing. It looks like we probably want the jib on the opposite side as well. And we don't want our top mast hitting anything. Certainly not. I don't know if there's like mast damage, or if you whack it, it just translates to the hull damage feature. But it looks like we'll get away with this. I think I can straighten up now. Let's bring this back out just for a wee bit of extra manoeuvrability. Actually, I don't think I've got time to head on to the bowsprit. I think we need to navigate this with care. Yep, we're managing. This sandbug is just too fast, I tell you. I have definitely been here before. It's all coming back now. I don't think there's much of a town here. I was sure it was on to our starboard somewhere. I'm really worried about the topmast. No, we're fine. But this is cool. There we go, jib's over at the other side. Is it worth getting a lantern on? There we go, let's play around with the new lantern. Since we're in a cave, it's lunchtime already. All that messing around. Oh, that looks like it might be something. That looks like a pier to me. It looks like it might potentially be on the small side for the sandbuck as well. We can just throw everything onto the dock should we need to. But that took no time at all, and it's even shorter from Firefly Grotto to Fey Valley and Siren Song. So we'll certainly get these two done very quickly. And then up to Eastwind, there's Oracle to visit and Aestra Abbey. Maybe back to Fort Aestrin, down to Sunspire, Mount Malefic, back to Fort Aestrin. But we'll just see what happens. We're not committing ourselves to anything. I feel like we might even be too fast with the jib, although right now, I mean, that square's working. I can't really oh, there's, so the direction of the pier is as I'm looking straight across there. Okay, that's good to work out now. Let's get that jib in so that we're going a bit slower. We don't want to come steamrolling into port. And I'm going to try and do this. Someone commented that I rely too much on the external view, and I literally cannot argue with that. Yes, I do. So I need to be more of an actual sailor. I wonder if you can disable... Oh no, the pier gets longer as you turn. All right, that's good. So I need to get used to sailing without the external view as much as I can. Just as an added sort of challenge. Right, the wind is a little bit on the tight side for this square to be pulled in like that. I think it will still pull us forward. So we've got a cleat. So we've got 4 cleats and then 5 cleats. So that's definitely the larger side of the grotto. But I believe as we turn, we might completely lose the wind. And there is a name for the square at front, which I did know. But we'll just call it Bowsprit Square for now. Looks like there's maybe some sort of mine behind the town. Was that a whale? There's a whale in here. Moby Dick is causing chaos in the grotto. And I felt like I'm seeing raindrops. Or it's probably like condensation falling from the cave, isn't it? I was going to say that's pretty... Oh, that's why. There's a crack. There's a gap in the roof. Right, I think we're coming in pretty well here. So this is more scary to do without the external camera, particularly now because there is hull damage. But I think we've absolutely nailed this, to be honest with you. Even if there's a wee scrape, I think we'll survive. I think this is actually making things harder now, so we'll just pull that in. And she should just bob along nicely. Jump! Oh, that did not work. Try again. Jeezy peeps, folks. Well, I can't restart the episode to save face now. Third time's lucky. There we go. Just delete the first 2 attempts from your memory. Let's let her get closer before I put our mooring line in. And I suppose when we're leaving Firefly Grotto, we'll go that way, right? I don't suspect there's a cargo guy here. Oh, there's a lot more to this town than I remembered. I think maybe I didn't explore last time, or it's been updated or something, but that looks like there's a church back there. Or some sort of temple. Come on, Perigo. It's not that Perigus. Right, there we go. I just popped that in now. Preserve our lanterns. Grab the stern light. I've actually got... I'm scared to jump now. And then haul our stern in. And then haul this in. And I think we'll go and take our logs first. And find out where we need to take everything else. Which I will do off camera. And then do some exploring. Right. More lanterns there, which we'll probably buy another one. A nice wee bench. Someone's washing out hanging. It's going to get wet. Imagine hanging your washing right underneath the gap. Well, the cargo guy's pretty cozy here. Here's the entrance. Mission complete, Firefly Grotto. Okay. So, as always, I'm going to be lazy and use this lazy chap. I'll get all the missions complete, and then we'll do some exploring. See you in a jiffy. Alright folks, so we're now up to 6412 crowns. That reminds me, well, let's have a drink, but I did actually want to check our reputation here. Which is actually at 20% already, so we're better than the Emerald Archipelago, which I was not expecting. So that's pretty decent. We're about... we're just about halfway to the same reputation as Al-Ankh, but I think that will take a hot minute. Missions and trade, I think I'll check that later on. I want to do some exploring in Firefly Grotto first. See if there's a wee tavern. I probably shouldn't have drank my water just in case there is a tavern. Save that. Oakum, lamp hooks, lamp oil, fishing hooks, more fishing hooks, and some firewood. As I say, I really want... Oh, these are fatter lamps. Maybe these are the ones that are better. Right, we'll take a big jonky boy. And I don't think we need another lamp hook. But I'm thinking, where do I want to put the jonky boy? I think I'll take this down. Pop you in the... This was going to be the spare lantern storage area, wasn't it? So we'll pop you in here. And then let's get the big boy out and see how that compares. Now we're talking. That's lit up the whole area. I don't think we need this anymore, so you can go into the lantern storage area. And is it still worth, do you think, having one at the back here? Yeah, I think that's still quite useful, but I like that. And then you can be our table lamp. Nice. Okay, we're getting close to kitted out, folks. We don't need the spyglass where we're going, so we can drop that into its comfortable berth on the ungodly pile of bread, which actually I've just realised is the purpose of the ungodly pile. It's to stop the spyglass from running away, because I hate putting it in and out of crates. Right. What are you selling? Fish, honey beer, and water. Well, I'll take a beer to mark the occasion. Thank you. A couple of swigs of that. Green, so this must be our tavern. Very nice, we'll be able to stay here on board. Mushrooms and apples. Don't think I've seen apples before. And baguettes. I know it's just a waste of money because there is a tavern I will be spending the night in. Because I always like to spend the night in the taverns. It's only 22 Aestrin crowns. And the apple was only 1, but I don't think I've seen apples in this game. Unless there were some over at the Emerald Archipelago. But let's see here, it's getting late. So I'd like to explore everywhere before it gets too late. I'm curious to see if I can chop the baguette up to put into the ungodly pile, but we can make some soups with this as well. This is the sort of mine. But we want to go and see this church. It's probably going to have two big scary guards. Is this like the irrigation system? Nope, no guards. But closed doors. Oh, if there's one thing we don't like here at Shipwreck Sean Incorporated, it's a closed door. Although actually I probably hate the invisible walls more than the closed door, because the invisible walls give you hope. So we've got two spires and a sort of eye in the middle. So that's the religion here at Fort Aestrin. Firefly Grotto. But there we go. I don't think I'm going to decide on the mission to the next place in this episode. I think we'll keep our options open. I would like to wake up in the morning and grab stuff, because I am keen to work out how to make soup properly in this game, because I think the last time I made soup, I made fish and dried bread soup, which doesn't sound fantastic. I like the idea of having like potato and carrot. What's that? Is that cucumber? How very exciting. I could chop that up and dry it, add it to our ungodly pile of dried produce. So yeah, all very exciting. But we started the episode in a tavern, and we're going to finish the episode in a tavern. So when we go, it's quite dark, this tavern, lad. You could probably get you could really up the game in here with a lantern. But anyway, folks, thank you for joining me. Just a shorter one this time, but we're exploring new islands in a new archipelago. But as always, it's been a pleasure. I've been Shipwreck Sean, and I'll see you soon. Cheerio.